Hello my friends, today I'm going to share with you 5 different things you can do with your handy little strap. So totally worth the investment. Just a quick note on which ones to buy. I prefer the longer straps, and so at least 8 feet, preferably 10. And there's a couple different buckles here. This is the most typical, the D-ring buckle. This one works. I think that if I were to do it all over again, I might get one of those that actually snaps. So anyway, just my preference there. Anyway, grab your strap. The first thing we're gonna do with it is open up through the shoulders. And I love using the strap for this. It feels really, really good. I'm gonna go ahead and double it up since it is so long. We don't want it just kind of flinging around everywhere. And you can take any seat. I'm sitting on my heels. You can sit on something, even on a chair. We're really just working the upper body here. So the thing to know is that we want a really wide grip. So arms are way wider than hips, and you'll adjust as you go. So from here, keeping the spine nice and straight, we're gonna start lifting the strap up overhead. And then start checking and tuning into kind of where you're feeling the sensation. Maybe you can go behind the head or even all the way back for a really deep stretch. And then we'll move it all the way back and up. And depending on how that went, you can decide if you want to shorten the distance. So shorter is going to be more intense, or maybe widen the distance between your hands if you couldn't really get past your head. And so we're going to be doing this back and forth a few times to open up through the chest, the underarms, get some motion there in the shoulders. And of course, if you can't go all the way back, that's okay. You just find that sweet spot and breathe there. So that's the first thing I love to do with this strap. The second one is also related to shoulders. And maybe if you're flexible, you don't need it, but I think that for most of us, it can be really helpful to have it when we do this grip. So I'm gonna turn around to show you. You're gonna take the strap in your right hand, point the right elbow up, and let the strap dangle behind you. Okay? And then you're going to take your left hand and reach it behind your back so that the left elbow is pointing down. And this is where the strap comes in handy. If you can interlace your fingers easily, maybe you don't need the strap. But at least for me, it's much more helpful to have this so I can really focus on finding ease as I get that big stretch through the shoulders. And then you would do this, of course, on the other side. The next one is a fun little trick that you can do not only when you're doing yoga, but actually as you're working on your computer at home or whatever you might be doing where you want to keep good posture. So we're basically going to wear this strap. First thing you're going to do is take the strap and bring it behind your back, kind of like below the shoulder blades. Imagine you were about to wrap a towel around yourself. And then from here, the strap, each side is gonna go over its corresponding shoulder. So this one's gonna go up behind me, but over the same shoulder, and so is this one. So now I'm kind of wearing like a little backpack here. And then so you can see from behind, I'm gonna take these straps, kind of pull down a little bit to help the shoulders lower. I'm gonna cross the straps and then bring them back forward. And this is where the snappy strap kind of makes it easier. But if you've got the D-ring, you're gonna go under both. And then with the little bit of the strap that's left, over the top and under the second, just to tighten this. And you get to adjust this to a comfortable place where the strap continues to gently pull the shoulders down and back to prevent sort of that hunching motion that we tend to do if we sit at the computer for a long time. And like I said, you can wear this when you're sitting down and doing things. It's also really helpful if, for example, you're working with planks and chaturangas where we have a tendency to sort of hunch and let the shoulders drop down. So really fun, useful way to use this strap. Okay, let me get out of this here. La la la. The next one is a little bit more restorative or more stretch focused. And that is using the strap to lengthen through the back of the legs. And so I'm gonna do this. You can do it seated. My preference is laying down. So coming all the way down onto the mat, you're simply going to take the strap and hook it around. I'll start with the right foot, so the right toe mounds. And then kick up towards the ceiling so that you feel the heel is pressing up, the toes are pointing towards you. You want to make sure the big toe mound and little toe mound are even here, okay? So we're not pulling one side more than the other. And then I like to slide the hands down so that we're really not forcing anything and the upper body is nice and relaxed. We're simply using the strap to hold the leg in place. And of course, from here, some variations are taking both ends of the strap to the right hand, letting the right leg explore how far it can go to the right, or maybe the opposite direction. If you're gonna do it across the body, I would extend the opposite leg out, and then you can play around here. So that's really nice. Another variation, when I call it a variation of this, is, rolling myself up here, is actually making a big loop with the strap. So again, under both D-rings and then back over the first, under the second. And then you're gonna wear this, again, right underneath the shoulders, the shoulder blades, I mean, and then lay back down. So the idea here is that I'm gonna place either one or both feet at the same time, but I can tighten it so that the strap holds the leg in place. And then I can be here for, 3-5 minutes without having to use my hands, without really having to do anything. And so it feels really nice if you don't have a wall to have both legs up supported by the strap, and you just get to really soften everything else. Let the strap do the work. All right, keeping this loop, we'll move to the last one, which is basically using the strap to keep the legs together for a more restorative pose where you don't want to, put any effort into keeping the legs from falling apart. So you can do this in a regular shavasana with maybe the legs lifted up on a bolster, or what I'm going to show you is here with legs up the wall. So the first thing you're going to do is just tighten it all the way so that the legs, the thighs are coming in together, but it's not so tight that it hurts, okay? And then with your new mermaid legs, you can come to legs up the wall and notice how much more comfortable it is, because now I can let the toes roll open without having to worry that my legs are just gonna open up. This is also really useful during bridge pose or restorative bridge. So again, hips are lifted, but that way you don't have to worry about the knees just spreading open. Okay, so I'm gonna slip out of that, roll back around. I hope this was useful. There's many more ways to use the strap, so tune in for